to Algeria, you must make sure that you need a visa to it, and it is obtained by the embassy or consulate. You can follow all the news and inquire about it on the website of the Algerian consulate in your country. You also need insurance, an income statement, a statement of booking hotels in Algeria, airline tickets, and there are countries that are exempted from the tourist visa for Algeria. They are the border countries with Algeria and the neighboring countries, namely Libya, Morocco, Mauritania and Tunisia, and they are given a visa at the airport that allows them to stay in Algeria for 90 days. One of the best times to visit Algeria for tourism is from the beginning of September to the end of June, and for beach lovers, the summer season here is wonderful, as well as ski lovers. You can come here in the winter to enjoy that. You may need more than 15 days to a month to be able to visit the wonderful tourist cities of Algeria, and take a full tour of the tourism areas in Algeria, so it is good to allocate the appropriate and sufficient time to feel the pleasure of tourism in charming Algeria. As for the cost of tourism in Algeria, it may be somewhat higher medium, but this is due to the type of hotels, dining, and transportation, and all of that depends greatly on you. Transportation here is wonderful and well equipped. The public transport network and roads are very good, and the train network is upscale and suitable for movement between cities, but internal air transport is very cheap and is preferred for movement between the tourist cities of Algeria. The food here is very good and varied between different cultures and Eastern and Western dishes. Here you find the authentic Algerian restaurant, couscous, chicken and lamb spread in most restaurants, the French restaurant, Berber dishes and various Arab dishes. If you are in the summer, take sunscreen and suitable clothes with you, and in the winter, tourism in Algeria is characterized by ice and places of icing, so be careful and take appropriate clothes with you for that. Security in Algeria may be a little worrying, but as long as you are inside a tourist city in the center of Algeria and there are gathering places, you are safe. The anxiety is on the borders, so it is advised to avoid approaching the border places with Mauritania and Morocco by about 40 kilometers. Tourism in Algeria is diverse, so when you go to every place, you should prepare yourself to explore this place and take a camera with you to take the most beautiful pictures of historical places and ancient monuments, and take pictures of yourself in the beautiful parks and landscapes of Algeria and the amazing desert. By its wide area, as it represents part of the Greater Arab Desert. As for Algeria, despite the large area occupied by this ancient and beautiful country with all its great cities, the desert represents more than 3/4 of the total area occupied by Algeria on the ground. The area on which the desert sands sit indicates that this desert is wide, and this gives the Algerian desert a special charm that falls on everyone who sees it and attracts him to visit it. Man by nature hates places that are small in size and narrow in scope, and prefers large comfortable places that give him a feeling of comfort. This vast place makes a person feel free, as there are no walls that limit him from all sides, such as the walls of houses and the walls of buildings that fill most cities, and there are no restrictions that limit his movement, so he finds himself free, and there he can move as he pleases, and there are no barriers that do not leave his eyes the opportunity to stare at everything he can see. He can even look wherever he wants. A person who goes to the Algerian desert feels that he has traveled to space, and moves in its vast areas with great comfort over large areas, walking in all directions to discover what the place contains without colliding with anything that obstructs his path, or that obstructs his path and forces him to stop at a certain point against his will. The desert is characterized by its pure and refreshing air, far from the air of cities and the air pollution that spreads everywhere from smoke and other pollutants, so a person can enjoy this blessing, and relax on the warm sand that helps with its softness and warmth of its temperature to relax, and this charming desert contains archaeological sites attract tourists who prefer calm, comfort and a sense of freedom in the vast areas. They go to it for these reasons and to be able to see the monuments in the desert that date back to ancient and different ages, and to see the sand dunes and natural oases. Large desert. There is a group of ancient caves that go back in time much to the prehistoric period and thus gain a lot of importance. As for the Mazab Valley, which covers a large area in the north of the Algerian desert, and it is worth visiting, it is a place with amazing geography and includes a rocky plateau of limestone that is considered one of the site's World Heritage, and this plateau includes strange desert cities, some of which date back to ancient times, giving them multiple colors. Examples of such deserts are the Painted Desert, Arizona, and the Painted Desert, South Australia. Minerals are extracted from some deserts that are rich in them, and their richness in sunlight made them an important source for the exploitation of solar energy through solar panels. Brief description of the beauty of the desert. A beautiful desert with no green trees, a yellow sun, and when the sun sets, it becomes luminous with stars. That is why we are proud of the beauty of the desert, which is a container for preserving the history of our ancestors. When you visit it, you will be greeted by palm trees spread out as if they were a standing policeman greeting you with your arrival, and the sand as if it were a bright golden carpet. Algerian desert is a paradise that can alone sponsor a tourism industry that provides tens of thousands of job opportunities, revives the region and improves the living conditions of the population. The farther we go to the south, the more eyes touch the charm of the desert with its natural and archaeological features that go back centuries, from palaces and monuments embraced by the regions of Tagat and Bani Abbas in the wilaya of Bechar, Biskra, the Tassili Mountains and its natural reserve in the far south, and others. In the Timamon region, palaces enchanted thousands of Algerian and foreign tourists and visitors who come to it, especially during its annual celebrations and demonstrations, or on the occasion of the New Year. The desert has always fascinated dozens of artists and painters who visit it annually, especially in the winter. Timamon was nicknamed the Red Oasis because of the spread of buildings built of red bricks, known as palaces that number up to 30, surrounded by palm trees and fresh natural water. Among the most famous are the Badrian Palace, the Masan Palace and the Tinurkic Palace. These palaces, according to the Algerian Ministry of Tourism, date back to the 12th century AD. They are distributed between residential complexes and houses that have been restored to receive tourists in a desert atmosphere different from the well-known tourist